Now we will learn what is Gauss law, what is the statement of Gauss law. This Gauss law we are studying in electrostatics. Remember that this Gauss law pertains only to electrostatics. That is the first chapter. After some times in the 5th, 6th chapter we once again come into picture what is Gauss law, that correspond to Gauss law in magnetism. Gauss law in magnetism is different from Gauss law in electrostatics. Since we are dealing with electrostatics, we are very much interested in knowing Gauss law. Now the statement of Gauss law is like this. Now you consider that here you have got the plus q charge. If you say that you have got a plus q charge. Now we know that if a plus q charge is kept here, this point is at a same distance, or otherwise if you got a circle if you draw a circle and plus q charge is kept at a point, or this is the point where we have got plus q charge. If you draw concentric circles along this, since this is the positive charge, at this point, at all these points, the electric field will be one and the same because the distance is same. On the other hand, if you instead of this writing this circle, if you consider that we have got instead of this we have got a circle drawn, or otherwise this is the drawing we have drawn, then in such cases the distance increases, still the electric field will be at all these points, the electric field will be one and the same. As you go on moving away from this, since the distance increases, the electric field goes on decreasing, and ultimately it may become at a particular point and above it becomes zero. We call all such points are zero electric field, or otherwise they are infinite points. But saying that it is infinite, it is not that, it is not a measurable distance, it can be measured, but the electric field at all those points are zero. If we consider this to be plus q charge, then the electric field available at all these points will be normal to this, saying that they are outward flux. On the other hand, instead of writing this to be plus q, if you write this to be minus q, all these will be pointed towards. You will remember that it should be pointing towards. So if you take into account minus q charge, the electric field will be inwards. So in case of positive q, plus q charge, it will be outward. Making use of this theory or idea what we have read in the previous classes, we can state the Gauss law like this. The total outward flux enclosed by a charge is always equal to 1 over epsilon times the total charge. The total electric flux, the total electric flux due to a charge enclosed will be always equal to 1 over epsilon naught times the charge enclosed. When we say that 1 over epsilon times the charge enclosed, when we say that it is the charge magnitude of the charge. If the charge is positive, the flux will be outward. If you take the charge as minus q charge, the flux will be inside. So this is the statement of Gauss, and mathematically if you write that, this can be mathematically if you write mathematically. So this can be written to be equal to mathematically. So flux is written to be equal to phi. Therefore, this is 1 over epsilon times into q. This is the explanation given by Gauss mathematically. The total outward flux, the total electric flux. So instead of saying that total electric flux, we have not mentioned the outward or inward. It is because that we don't know whether they are going to take into account a plus q charge or minus q charge. Therefore, simply in order to overcome that problem, we have written that the total electric flux due to a charge enclosed will be always equal to 1 over epsilon naught times the charge enclosed. So when we write that it is outward, then the case will be, this will be, charge will be positive. If it is inward, it will be case minus. But when deriving the equations, we are not going to write it as plus q or minus q. We are not writing the charges or the electric field is outward or inward, because we are not certain that whether we are going to derive the equation making use of plus q or minus q. So this is the mathematical. Now we are making use of this, we have to study the three cases. The three cases are electric field. What is the electric field available in case of an infinitely long thin one? We have to derive electric field in case of infinitely thin long wire. This is the first case. Then the second case will be like this. We have got what is the electric field available in case of thin plane sheet. So second case. The third case will be what is the strength of the electric field available if you got a sphere and you are going to have an imaginary Gaussian surface. What is the electric field available at this point? In the same class we are going to write the fourth one is if you write or otherwise this is the other case. Now here we have got the charge placed in it. So this is the surface density of this charge is there. Now if you choose a point inside it, what is the electric field available? These are the cases that should be studied. But NCERT has already declared that this is not to be read for the children who are taking the 2021 examination. As far as CBSE concerned, we have not yet received any of the messages. Therefore, still we will going to derive, we will prove that what is the electric field available. So if the department says that this is not in the syllabus for 2021, in such cases that can be left out. So that can be deleted. Now we will derive one by one what are the equations that are available for electric field at different cases. Now we will write first electric field. Electric field will derive one by one the equations. Electric field due to an infinitely long straight uniformly charged wire. So we will derive the first equation. What is the electric field due to a long straight uniformly charged wire or infinitely long thin wire? So if the question is infinitely thin long wire, straight uniformly charged wire, all the cases are one and the same. Now for this we will remember that we will write like this. We have got an infinitely long wire. So when we say that infinitely long wire, the thickness of the wire is not to be considered because the length is enormous. Only the length only comes into picture. The area of cross section does not come into picture. Therefore if you write, let us consider that we have got infinitely long wire. This wire is of enormous length. So this is supplied with positive charges. Therefore all the positive charges are available on the surface of the thin wire. So this is the idea of writing that. So this is how we have got, this is infinitely thin long wire. Now we will consider here, we will construct a cylinder. So this is the cylinder we are going to draw. Now if you draw, this has to be the cylinder. This is the point where we are going to calculate the electric field at this point. What is the electric field available at this point? We are interested in calculating. P is a point at a distance r from the wire. So what is the electric field available at this point is to be calculated. Therefore we have constructed a cylinder of this. Now therefore the length of the cylinder, we will write this to be equal to L. Now if you consider the circumference of the circle is nothing but equal to, since the radius is r, the circumference is equal to, right, if you write circumference is equal to 2 pi r. Therefore this is equal to 2 pi into r. So circumference is, this is circumference available. So circumference is 2 pi r. The radius formed due to the radius is r and the cylinder. What is the length of the cylinder? Circumference of, if you write circumference of cylinder, if you write circumference of cylinder is equal to 2 pi r. Length of the cylinder we will mark length of cylinder, it is equal to L. Now we will write, so we will consider that we have got so we are we will write, looking at the diagram, consider a infinitely long thin wire. Now since the length is enormous, the thickness cannot be taken into account. Infinitely thin wire. Now P is a point. You have chosen P as a point. P is a point at a distance r from the wire. So this point P is at a distance r from this wire. Now we will construct a cylinder as shown in figure. Consider an imaginary cylinder as shown. So it is imaginary we have measured, or otherwise we have treated it as imaginary. Otherwise also you can say that it is Gaussian cylinder that has been formed. Now linear charge density, we know linear charge lambda is equal to, therefore here the length of the wire is equal to L. So lambda is, what is the total charge available if you are asked? Q is equal to lambda into L. So this is one result we have got. Now we will make use of the Gauss law and see what happens to the equation. From Gauss law we know that from Gauss law we have got Gauss law is equal to flux is equal to 1 over epsilon times Q. So this is the equation 1. Also we know that flux is also equal to E dot ds, or otherwise flux is equal to E ds into cos theta. Since theta is equal to 0, we can write that flux is equal to E into ds. So this is the second equation we have got. Now we will compare these two equations. Now comparing 1 and 2, if you compare 1 and 2, on comparing 1 and 2, we have got that E into ds, comparing 1 and 2, we get like this: E into ds is equal to 1 over epsilon times Q. Now E is equal to, ds is equal to area. Area is nothing but equal to circumference into length. Area, this is ds is equal to area into 1 over epsilon naught into Q. Now E is equal to, E into area is nothing but equal to circumference into length equal to 1 over epsilon times Q. Therefore E is equal to, E into circumference is equal to 2 pi r into length is equal to L equal to 1 over epsilon times Q. So therefore on simplification the equation reduces to the form E is equal to, if I write E is equal to, this is 1 over epsilon naught into 2 pi r into L in the numerator Q. So Q into all these things, Q into, right. So on simplification you will write that this is Q divided by, so this is equal to 2 pi r epsilon naught into L. No, we have written that Q is, but Q is equal to, we have written that to be equal to, Q is equal to lambda into L. Already we have written that. Therefore E is equal to, here we will write it to be equal to lambda into L divided by 2 pi r epsilon naught into L. Therefore ultimately the equation reduces to E is equal to lambda divided by 2 pi epsilon naught into R. So this is the equation for electric field in case of infinitely long thin wire. So this is the expression we are going to get. So once again if you write that, the unit will be once again Newton per coulomb or volt per meter. Alright, this is the equation that should be arrived at.